In my last video, I tested backhand distance and consistency. In this video, I'm going to do the same type of test with 4 discs, throwing forehand only down my hill in the backyard to see how well I can trust forehand for distance and accuracy. I'll share with you the throws, I'll share with you the data. I will also make a direct comparison between my forehand and backhand for distance and accuracy, and I'll share which disc or discs I can trust, if possible, my forehand for distance. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into the throws here. I'm sharing my longest throw, my most accurate throw, and my least accurate throw. So we threw from up here, right by the barn. This corner of the fence is the target. Okay, first up, let's see how these Fission trail throws looked. First, my longest throw. This throw felt pretty good. Ended up also being very accurate. 423 feet distance, 17 feet from the target. That throw actually turned out to also be my most accurate throw with the Fission trail. So moving to my least accurate throw, this one did not feel great. Ended up far left of the target, also relatively short. 45 feet away. Next, Insanity. This one is my lightest disc, 156 grams. We'll see how it did. As you can see, my longest throw here, 388 feet, still 42 feet from the basket. Not the greatest feeling throw. That was actually my most accurate throw with the Insanity. So going to my least accurate throw, this one ended up quite short, with about 93 feet to the basket. Not a very strong performance overall with the Insanity. Okay, let's look at the Neutron trail, my tried and true favorite over all these videos, with my longest throw. Now maybe I was aiming a little more towards the goats there because they were out of my property, had gone under the fence. As you can see, that throw kind of helped encourage them to come back in. Really far, 453 feet, and 53 feet from the target. Second throw, most accurate. This one, beautiful throw, really, felt good. Only 18 feet from the target, and went 415 feet. 415 feet distance. My least accurate throw with the trail was a very far throw. It was just the wrong direction. It ended up anhyzering out to the right, or excuse me, to the left quite far. And we got a 440-foot throw that was 100 feet from the basket. Next, let's look at the Fission Time-Lapse. So for my farthest throw, this one felt pretty good. Ended up a bit right, but the direction of the throw was quite nice. So 45 feet from the basket, 418 feet throw distance. Next, we had my most accurate time-lapse throw, hyzered in from left down near the basket. Looked great, felt great. 408 feet and 21 feet from the target. I keep calling it basket. It's just a target, corner of my fence. Okay, next, Fission Time-Lapse, least accurate throw. This one ended up right, and just was short. Just wasn't a great throw. Okay, so now let's look at the overall performance here. How did all the data points fall for each of these discs? And what was their average distance thrown, their average distance to the target for all those throws? Okay, so beginning, Fission trail, we've got our plot here showing a bunch of blue data points at distances. Those are the throw distances. 50% within circle 2, average of 367 feet, distance-wise. Not too horrible. Okay, next we have the Insanity. Now this one, as you can see, all the throws are pretty much skewed toward shorter distances. We only had 1 out of 10 within circle 2, and all the rest of them outside our average distance of 359 feet and distance to target on average is 105 feet. Yeah, not too happy with that. Next, let's look at the Neutron trail overall data. So average distance thrown, we're definitely closer to the target, 390 feet on average. Our average distance to the target, 75 feet. And as you look at all those data points, you see that, so we ended up with 50% circle 2, 25% circle 1. Neutron trail did great accuracy-wise and distance-wise. And note the longest throw, 453 feet. Okay, fourth disc, Fission Time-Lapse. We ended up with a average distance, 389 feet, 1 foot less than the average of the Neutron trail. Average distance to target of 67.4 feet. That was actually improved over the other discs. And within circle 2, check this out. Look how many hit that. And most of these just hyzered right in. We ended up with basically 8 out of 11 throws were within circle 2, and about half of those were also within circle 1. So the time-lapse, with its greater degree of stability, just really was reliable at hitting closer to that target. This surprised me a lot. So we nearly matched, you know, the trail, the Neutron trail, exactly on all these points. The farthest throw, 441 feet, was over 100 feet from the basket or target with the Fission Time-Lapse. The max throw with the Neutron trail was almost the same distance. So our averages ended up nearly equal, okay, between those discs. So now why don't we go ahead and just look at the comparison between the discs that I threw, both for backhand and forehand, and how they did overall for distance and accuracy. So if we look at this plot, we've got distance in feet on the left, and that those are called out for the backhand throws on the left side of that left plot, and on the right side of it, we're calling out the distances for the forehand throws. Note that Fission Time-Lapse in red, Neutron trail in purple had the exact same average distance for forehand, not necessarily true for backhand. And the insanity just was way below those for forehand and backhand distance-wise. Okay, let's look at accuracy. So we've got the Fission Time-Lapse is the big surprise here. Went from 30% accuracy, that is 30% within circle 2, up to 73% within circle 2. The Neutron trail decreased in accuracy a little bit for me, going from backhand to forehand, and the insanity had relatively low accuracy on backhand and horrible accuracy on forehand. So very surprising, honestly. I think what this tells me is my forehand does far better with a more stable disc. It's because I found that with the bad throws on my forehand, they were always ending up going way off to the left and just not really coming back out of it stability-wise. That was quite the surprise. So overall, I would say backhand and forehand, you know, if I want one disc to do it all, I'm probably still going to go with the Neutron trail. But I also see that stability offered by the time-lapse for me does allow for better predictability and more accuracy in forehand than backhand. And in fact, that was the most accurate of anything I've done with these tests. Forehand with the time-lapse beat backhand with the trail, and yeah, that was quite surprising. It's not necessarily about forehand versus backhand, it's just about choosing the right disc for the job. If you're doing a forehand throw, make sure you've got a little more stability. So speaking of distance, I actually had a breakthrough with my backhand form this week that I'll be sharing in a future video. I ran into a league at the local disc golf course here that I go to, and they were finishing up, and this guy over 50 years old was talking to me about how in the last year he's gone from about a 275-foot max distance to about a 420 max distance. Crazy improvement, just absolutely amazing. So he gave me a few of the pointers that made all the difference for him, and I've been trying to implement those in just a tiny bit of testing spoiler alert, that insanity. Last week, backhand, last video, 374 foot average for me, went 474 feet. Farther than I've thrown the insanity ever. And you know, what it do? It landed right next to the river. Beautiful throw, scooted right on over the edge into the river. Anyway, yeah, we'll get to that in the future. When I test my form changes and share that, I'll probably not be doing it in my backyard because I actually only have 2 of the 4 tested discs not lost right now from this video. I feel like these data-driven insights, you know, sharing multiple throws per disc in these comparison videos is far more useful than just looking for that, you know, chance best throw that worked perfectly. You want to know on average, does this disc end up doing something more for me? Is it a longer disc? Is it a more accurate disc on average? And that's what you can trust far more than just a single throw is going to give you. So enjoyed this. This has been very eye-opening. I feel like there's a little more confidence coming back to my forehand. I did see it go quite far and saw that it's comparable to the backhand throws. Okay, so how's your forehand game? Do you trust your forehand more than your backhand? I'm still working on thinking about that. I think it's kind of a toss-up, honestly. Also, what breakthroughs have you had with your throw distance and accuracy? Have you picked up anything from other players that's helped you out? I know you guys share this kind of stuff with me. I always love to hear more. If you have anything to talk about with that, please do. So thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoyed doing these tests. There will be more in the future. Looking forward to fully testing out those breakthroughs in my backhand distance. We'll see what happens. We'll get there. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. There you go. Enjoy. That's my YouTube video notes. Make some good use of them. We're recycling, you know? Here, Leo. Want that? Nah, you're too jumpy. Okay, have fun. That guy, head to tail, is quite huge. He's like easily 20 inches long. I don't know. That thing is maybe, probably at least 24. It's a big boy.